Hi there, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here to do the weekly reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Scorpio, if you don't know your Moon and Rising signs, check out the description box for a link to alwaysastrology.com, and there you can plug in your information and it gives you an entire snapshot of your chart. That way, if for any reason this doesn't resonate with you this week, you can try viewing your Moon and Rising readings for the week and see if that helps. That being said, I do hope that this is appealing to you and healing on some level for you, Scorpio. So this is for the week of May 23rd to the 29th. This is a general reading, so whatever is most prominent in your life this week, Scorpio, I will get you to apply these messages to. So whether that's romance, travel, health, business, etc., whatever is most prominent in your world, hopefully these messages will resonate and include some sort of direction or answers for you for the week. So Scorpio, I wish for you all success, joy, and wellness. I invoke spirits of love, light, and beauty. I call upon Archangels Gabriel, Metatron, Michael, and Uriel to guide this reading in peace, clarity, protection, and wisdom. I call upon Gaia to please bless this reading for Scorpio. So Scorpio, in the description box as well, there's a link to my book and to the cards that I'm using, as well as a brief description on why I do this. It's not something I did up until, well, I did it in my youth and then let it go for a long time, and then I had some really profound spiritual experiences just going on about 2 years ago that prompted me to write a book about it. So here I am doing weekly readings for my homies on the internet. So I hope that this appeals to you and you enjoy it. So Scorpio, in your central position so far, we have the Thinker. This is something, this does represent you for the week. This is something you're heavily involved in a mental or psychological process. It's quite a lovely place to be for the week because it means that you're in a state of contemplation and discovering perhaps where you need to head from here. It appears as though you're letting yourself think about something that you've been putting off for whatever reason. No judgment. But this is a week that you're putting into practice the hard work of contemplation around a large-scale issue for you, something that you feel has come to an end, that perhaps you're up against a wall or there's a door that's before you that you're aware of subconsciously, and that you need to give a lot of time and contemplation to in order to move forward. So this might even be a relatively new place for you this week regarding this one specific issue. And good on you, because it means that you're not making rash decisions around this newfound information or feeling, etc. This is you putting a lot of time and effort into making the right move. So before making a rash decision or a rash move, you're putting your time and energy into thinking about it. So that's really great. This is energy that you're just coming out of, or your recent past. This is Treasure Island. I think that you've come to terms with knowing that you have everything you need within in terms of psychological and emotional wellness and deep knowledge for how the world works and your place in it. Perhaps you've taken this state of mind and are, have come to terms with this and are now applying it in the thinking sense. It's like, oh, I discovered all these things about myself. And when we think about it, Treasure Island, there's this place within each of us that holds all the treasures we've ever needed or wanted. And once we come to terms with this, well, now we almost have to make a decision about how we apply it and how we use it in the world. Particularly if it's something that you've learned about yourself or your place in the world that you hadn't considered before, or you didn't even want to look at before. Heavens knows I've been there as well. Some people get addicted to a way of life, Wow, look at your probable outcome card. And we find comfort there, whatever that means. And I think for so many of us, it is just it's part of human nature. I think we get used to things the way they are. We know what's about to happen, and we just get settled there, even if it isn't the best life for us or exactly what we want. It's like, well, at least I know what's going to happen, and I'm comfortable in that. But I think you've spent a great deal of time here, whether it was your decision or not. You might have been forced to discover these things about yourself. But you're saying to yourself now that comfort, whatever relative comfort was available in just accepting things the way they were, for example, I think if that isn't directly what you're contemplating, through the week it is part, or it's going to play a part in what you're thinking about, because I think you might even say words like, or hear language around you like, that's not for me, or that was then, this is now, or that's not the person I am anymore, etc. Okay, so this is those types of terminologies, that type of language, that general energy around those terms are what is going to be playing out this week for you. Which is marvelous, right? Because it's an evolution. It's a personal evolution. And then in your conscious or outside influence position here, we have the card flexible. This means that you're fully aware of all of your talents and your willingness to get around what you need to get around. This is you being confident, 100% confident that no matter what comes to you into your life, befalls you, whatever circumstance, you're going to be able to deal with 100% because you have within you everything you need. These are extremely personally strong cards, okay? I'm going to be looking at them up close at the camera with you in just a moment. We have two really extremely high energy cards here. We have the card of regeneration in your subconscious or internal influence position here. Regeneration is literally the ending of something in order to crack something open that's new. And in this image, for example, the cracking open of what's new is a seed. And it means you needed to plant something. So this is really beautiful. It means that you've been flexible enough in the past to get what you needed, but then had the time or took the time or were forced to take the time, God forbid, that you had to look inside yourself, really do a great deal of contemplation here, discover what you needed and wanted, what you don't have and what you don't want, and then this is the week of contemplation around how to get it, how to get more of it, how to improve on it, how to express it. Okay, and then because this was a seed, you're coming into your own, but this is at a subconscious level. You might not even be aware that this is happening, except for this will be the behavior this week. And it's all because this seed was planted and it's finally broken open. Something finally is beginning to grow from it. So I'm so pleased to see this for you because it looks as though you've done a great deal of soul searching for, I would say, at least the last 3 or 4 months, possibly the last half year, around this specific issue, whatever's most prominent in your life this week, obviously. You're finally able to see the fruit on the trees. This seed almost, you know what they say about apple seeds, right? You know how many seeds are in an apple, but you don't know how many apples are in a seed, okay? And this is what this says for you right now. This is that whatever you planted, you didn't even know how rich it was going to make you. And when I say rich, I mean, of course, it could be money and prosperity on a material level, but obviously richness comes in health, relationships, bounties of the heart, bounties of the spirit, okay? So particularly relationships, okay? Whenever I think of bounty, yes, money is nice. Yes, possessions are lovely, but strip away all that from us. Strip away the things that feed, a materialistic ego. Not that this is your problem at all. That's not what I'm saying. I just mean as a human being living in this world the way it has been, the way it has been built, right? Is to say that you are the creatrix or the creator of this internal event. You've come to terms with these two extremely forceful energies finally. That's all I'm saying, Scorpio. Being flexible is going with the flow. It means you know you have what it takes internally because you've looked there. And that's a beautiful place to go. Many, many human beings, even up until they're 70 or 80 years old, Scorpio, can't even dream of going within. Okay? It scares so many people, unfortunately. And there are people, we hear this all the time, right? There are people the same when they were 20 as when they're 80. That's not a life lived. And I think you know this deeply, intuitively. Perhaps it's even because you simply saw someone else go through this recently, or you've paid attention to someone else in your life or around you, or who was important to you, who are, they've never changed. They're the same person. And again, it's not a judgment call. I'm not trying to judge them. Human beings are allowed to progress and expand and evolve the way that they were meant to evolve. Maybe they weren't willing to evolve, and that's their story, but I don't think you don't want that to be part of your story. And then the milk and honey as the probable outcome card here. It's literally, its keyword is nirvana. This is their nirvana card. So it's just beautiful to see the probable outcome for you. I think that you are just feeling so zen this week. So congratulations. So let's look at these briefly up close. Like I said, you have the thinker card, lots of stars. It's a golden card. This is, to me, a golden opportunity for you this week, Scorpio rather, to get to some internal processes about how to proceed with all of these things that are happening within. This is really quite magical here. Just bear with me. We have treasure within, going with the flow, nirvana, and breaking open a seed that was planted at least several weeks ago. But this could have been a lifetime, okay? That's finally starting to blossom. And you might not even remember doing this because, like I said, or you might not have even understood how much prosperity and joy and wellness could have come from just planting that one seed. But the most important part of this is that you took the chance and the risk and you planted it anyway, because you knew that it would, no matter what were to befall you or to become from this, or come out of this rather, would be positive for you. Even if it was one or two things or one part of your life, etc. No, this is saying, look, you did this one small thing, but look how big it's going to get. It's really beautiful. So again, the treasure island, what you're just coming out of, this is just you having come to terms with how much joy and internal treasure you do have and how much you deserve and how much you're actually able to provide for others. You have a wealth of treasure inside you. This is also a nice way to look at balance. You have air and then water, and then right in the middle is where the turtle is swimming on his or her back. And then from a large scale sort of mystical or esoteric symbology here, we have the turtle, and the turtle is one of the most ancient symbols of ancient civilizations in the world. So this could feel like you're in touch with something that's really maybe even not necessarily a cult, but that's really generational. It's really, what do you call it when it's like your foremothers and your forefathers, that type of thing. Like you're in tune with something, in touch with something here that's really deep and meaningful for you that you can build upon and draw upon in difficult times. So congratulations about that, Scorpio. Again, in your conscious or outside influence position, you have flexible. This also does include other people helping you. This is a resource card, and you can see that there's a great deal of fertility and growth and generation here because of the egg. And she's doing acrobats on this symbol of fertility here. So I just feel that you have an enormous wealth of resources. Resources don't always mean money and time. It can mean food. It can mean love, friendship, peace, relationships, etc. That you have everything you need from the outside and within. So how beautiful is this? And then, like I said, the regeneration card in the internal or subconscious position. This is something that I think but even by next week or the coming weeks, you're going to see finally bring into fruition that you're feeling now. At least you're feeling like, oh, this hard work or this hard lesson or whatever I was put through recently or whatever I had to learn. Ooh, that, you know, that seed was planted, and I just didn't see it turning into something so bountiful, but here it is. Here it is. This is just beautiful. The Regeneration card. Remember though, something had to close for this to, something had to stop or break or close or end, etc. for this to occur. It just wasn't the end of the world, so to speak. It was the end of something that wasn't working for you anymore, that you were probably done with anyway. And again, with your probable outcome card, you have the milk and honey card. This is one of my favorite cards. Look at the symbolism here. The elephant, which is maternal relationships, other women, the wild. Elephants are maternal families. They run as a matriarchy. So you could be at the head of something you didn't expect to be, or you could be more comfortable being the head of something you didn't expect to be. Again, with the richness of the milk and honey, there's even healing here. There's nutrition, nurturing others. We have the rainbow. I mean, how many more beautiful things can we have in this card? A beautiful sunny day. And then the elephant, of course, just bathing and being completely in his or her element in this card. It's nirvana. Literally, this is a sense of fulfillment, peace, prosperity, joy, togetherness, family even. And not the creepy uncle, this is hard Christmas family stuff. This is like, I feel accepted and I feel welcome. And alternately, I welcome others. I accept others. So just beautiful, Scorpio. This is just a really beautiful position to be in. It could be that the issue that is arising rather because of this sense of regeneration and being flexible with some of the changes here is part of the nirvana. Sometimes letting go of control issues or letting go of how things play out is sometimes our biggest blessing. Okay, even though sometimes we feel like if we don't control it, everything's going to fall apart or somehow we're not going to be able to handle it. That's not happening this week, Scorpio. There's no way that's happening this week. You're too in tune and you're too willing to go with the flow because you're in deep thought. You're contemplating. You're not in a rush to do anything here. There's no rush. There's no even directive energy here. The only energy that's going to be expressed or expelled or capitalized on this week is mental or emotional or psychological energy. And again, everything in balance, right? So if you find this is taking up all of your time or too much time, create some balance out of that. Go for walks, have a laugh, relax a little. But yes, do engage in your thinking and contemplation this week. And expect the best, no matter what that internal dialogue is happening for you this week, Scorpio. Please expect the best because this is what Spirit has in mind for you. And I think if you expect the best and you know that when you plant those seeds, like I said, we don't know how many apples are going to become of an apple seed, do we? We have to plant it first. So I think you took a heavy risk recently or of late, and you're finally seeing the fruit of that decision making or risk. So that's marvelous. So we're just looking for, oops, we got two there. I'm just going to keep shuffling until I get one card out of each of these decks. If two come out again, I might do that, but for now I do prefer to get one from each deck. All right, so out of the medicine card, we have the hawk, and the hawk's keyword is messenger. It could be that you are willing to listen to other people's opinions or positions on things, particularly if you're thinking about taking a new path or doing something a little bit different for yourself. The other way that messenger can be read is twofold. One, that you're willing and ready to listen to messages that you've been keeping at bay for whatever reason. And this could come through articles online, through people in lineups, through songs that you've never paid attention to before, etc. So there are messages around you. It could also be found in nature as well. And the other way to read this is that you are the messenger and you're going to help other people through difficult times or situations because you are in your own personal power here. So, like I said, messenger is its key word there. Another way I like to look at messenger as well, particularly for what's in the cards here this week for your Scorpio, is to say that you might be looking to other people who have already been through something you have been, not necessarily gurus, but other individuals whom you trust to help guide you through something difficult this week or through a decision process this week. And for the final card for the reading, Scorpio, we have the card Children. So unless there are actual children in your life, as though your children or someone else's children and you have relationships with them, if that's the case, they will figure prominently this week. And there is something special going on in this relationship with a child or children this week for you, Scorpio. So really appreciate this on a deep level. Certainly the child or children this week in your life, Scorpio, will appreciate you. This could even be part of the message, okay? It could be something, like I said, if it's a song or a lineup, someone you hear in a lineup mention something that you can draw upon or appeals to you or makes sense to you, it could come from a child. And how lovely is that? So you might be surprised at where this important message that you required or that you wanted this week comes from. And alternately, another way to read this card is that if there are no children that are prominent in your life this week, Scorpio, that it is important to remember to create and to maintain a loving and fair relationship with your inner child, with the child within. If there is any doubt here about the child within, or if there's any negative or old energy, something that you might be the inner child or the relationship you have with your inner child or memories of what it was like to be a child, if they are not considerate and loving and helpful, this is an opportunity for you to create amends of your own with your inner child. Sometimes in order to get over some hurts as a child while we're adults, we think we have to take it up with the person who hurt us, right? And that's natural. But this week, this is suggesting that it's up to you to do this within. This is something for you to heal from within. You don't need to look to the other person for a sorry or I apologize or anything like that. This is about you coming to terms with what happened and getting to the root of it so that you can heal your own inner child. You don't need them to heal it. Another way to look at this as well is if there's something negative or painful from childhood and you're playing something over and over in your mind or in your heart and it doesn't help you or cause any healing, it's time to be loving to that part of your childhood in order to let it go. And this could be part of where you're spending your time thinking this week too. So that's it for your reading for the week, Scorpio. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, comment if you have any suggestions or if any of this was really resonating with you. I'd love to hear about how. If you know any other Scorpios who might benefit from the reading, make sure you share with them. And be sure to subscribe. I upload a free video for you every week for your weekly reading. And until I see you next time, take good care of yourself. Bye for now.